So I got a really cool gadget, and that's what it is. It's a gadget. It's the Sony Smartwatch. It's kind of hard to show on camera because it is pretty dinky, but this is one of the coolest gadgets. Now I'm going to keep using that word gadget because it's supposedly a smartwatch. However, in my usage, it really isn't a smartwatch. It's more like a extended screen for your Android device. So in this review, I'm going to go over the pros, the cons, essentially everything that has to do with this, again, smartwatch. And so the first thing to get out of the way is the cons. So if you're looking for a video review on this thing, first there are a couple of things that are very bad with it. The first thing being it's Android only. So if you have an iPhone, this watch is out. It's not like the Pebble. It doesn't work with the iPhone at all. Android only. The second thing is it is not waterproof. So if you're looking for a waterproof smartwatch, you're not going to be able to use this one underwater. It is water resistant supposedly. However, I wouldn't trust it. I would not put it underwater. I would not get it very wet. So yeah, definitely not waterproof. The only other thing that I can think of is the battery life, and so far I've been able to get 3 to 5 days out of it. So if you're looking for a smartwatch that you don't have to charge every week, you're going to want to look elsewhere. So other than that, let's dive right into the Sony Smartwatch and take a look. Okay, so let's get started with the review of the Sony Smartwatch. First of all, this is a band that I put together. Included in the package is this, if you can see, there's a metal piece, and the biggest thing you're going to notice is the smartwatch actually unclips. So you can see this metal piece right here, I attached it a standard band to the smartwatch, and the smartwatch is essentially this clippy part here. So it just clips onto a band and you're pretty much good to go. Included is a, it's kind of hard to do this, included is a black as well as a white, I wouldn't say rubber, it's like a silicone. It's kind of a weird, it's got a weird feel to it, but it's surprisingly good for what you get. I was really surprised. I thought this was going to be thrown out the first second I got it, and I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was actually pretty cool. But I have since switched to a more, I don't know, ruggedized, or this, you know, kind of watch band. So here you can see the watch is on. It doesn't stay on. You can set different watch faces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my phone out and set it to a different watch face so you can see what it's like. Essentially, you can set it to a watch face that stays on longer. Essentially, whenever it recognizes that the watch is, the watch you're moving around, that's when it can, essentially stay on. That's how it stays on. But otherwise, usually the watch turns off, and that's how it saves battery. So let's get into using the watch. So it's kind of tricky how to use the watch. Essentially, when it's in this mode, that means you tells the time, and then you touch the screen. And here you can see I've got my weather, and I can swipe over and see alerts. I can swipe back, tap on the weather, see what the current weather is, tap again, stuff like that. And it's multi-touch, so you swipe in and it goes back. Go like this and you can see other apps. Now the cool thing is you can install third-party apps. I installed like the weather app you saw. There's a torque app, so you can use that to monitor your car. It's kind of gimmicky, but it's kind of cool to be able to do it. The biggest thing is notifications. This has a vibration. It has a motor in it, so it vibrates. So whenever I get a call, whenever I get a text message, whenever I get an email, essentially if there's an app update, it buzzes. And what's cool is there's an application called Watch It that I have installed. You can see it's right there. And what that essentially does is on my phone, it looks for any updates, and any type of notification goes to the phone, and then it goes to the watch, and it's really cool. The build quality, the screen really isn't amazing. It's an OLED screen, and it flickers in the video, but it doesn't flicker when you have one. The face is really plastic. It feels very cheap, almost like very, very cheap. The phone, the watch is about $100, and I think they could have done better with glass. Charging the watch, there's actually contacts under here, and I'll get the connector. It's a proprietary connector, of course, and you can see it goes in. It's actually kind of finicky. It goes in just like that, and the clip is what holds it in place. On the other hand is USB. And so here's the watch again. Now, battery life, again, I've been able to get 3 to 5 days out of, and that's with heavy usage. That's with notifications coming constantly. I probably get maybe 20 notifications a day through the watch, and it's still, I haven't charged it in a couple days, and it's currently showing half battery. So battery life is pretty impressive. It can be a con compared to some other smartwatches, but I don't really consider this a smartwatch. It's more like a gadget that's on your watch, or I'm sorry, a gadget that's on your wrist that happens to tell the time. That's probably the best description. Another way to wake the watch up is to tap it twice, and it'll come alive. This is not done via touch, this is done via an accelerometer, so if you work somewhere where it's constantly getting shooken up, it will be on all the time and you'll burn through battery. But like I said, there's third-party apps that really make this watch live. And I just had an update just this past week. This thing's been out for a year now, I think, or maybe more than that. And Sony is still updating it, which is impressive because Sony is known to submit a new hardware to the market and then completely ignore it. Sony releases so many gadgets that just get lost, essentially. They just forget that they make them and don't give them any support. So yeah, this is my review of the Sony Smartwatch. I love this gadget. I use it every day. And if you use an Android phone and you're looking for a way to receive notifications, phone calls, with this, if I get a phone call, I can mute it, I can ignore it, or I can answer it all on this device, which is pretty cool. Text messages come through. I mean, all around, it is a really cool gadget. As a watch, it sucks. It is a terrible watch because it's huge. You can see, as a watch, it's pretty massive. The battery life isn't very good for a watch. And compared to an e-ink display, you cannot read this in direct sunlight. It is awful. But as everything other than a watch, this thing is the way to go. And there really isn't another product out there that rivals this one. So that's my review of the Sony Smartwatch, and thanks for watching.